Stop scrolling for exactly 90 seconds. What I'm about to tell you could change the way you walk for the rest of your life, and I mean that without exaggeration. Most doctors will glance at your chart, tell you to get more protein, and send you on your way. That is not medicine. That is a shortcut. Today, I'm going to give you something almost no physician takes the time to explain properly in a 7-minute office visit. The exact foods that, eaten in the first hour after you wake up, can slow down and in many documented cases actually reverse the muscle breakdown happening in your legs right now while you sit there watching this. I said reverse, and I meant it. It does not matter what your birth certificate says or what kind of shape you believe you're in. It is not too late. My name is Dr. William Lee. I have spent years sitting across from patients who were absolutely convinced that their weakness, their wobbling balance, their white-knuckle grip on the stair rail, or their need to push off the armrest with both hands just to stand up was simply the toll of getting older. I need you to hear me say this clearly. That belief is one of the most damaging myths that has ever been treated as common sense, and in the next few minutes, we are going to take it apart, piece by piece. Here's a question I want you to sit with. What if eating one single ordinary food before 8 o'clock in the morning could slow the biological aging of your leg muscles by nearly a decade? I'm not talking about a prescription. I'm not talking about some $80 bottle of capsules from an ad you saw on Facebook. I'm talking about a plain, humble food you have walked past in a grocery store 1,000 times without a second thought, and most people over 60 are walking straight past what could be the single most protective habit available to them. I want to be honest about why this gets missed so often. In a typical office visit, a physician has maybe 12 minutes with a patient. There's no time to explain sarcopenia in depth. No time to walk through the biochemistry of muscle protein synthesis, and no time to sit down and build an actual morning plan together. So the advice gets compressed into a single sentence, eat more protein, and the patient leaves without understanding what to eat, when to eat it, or why timing matters just as much as the food itself. That gap is exactly what I want to close today. Before we go further, tell me where you're watching from today. I read every single comment on this channel, no exceptions. And while you're typing that, answer me this. How old are you right now, and what is the one physical activity you refuse to give up, no matter how hard your body is fighting you on it? Maybe it's walking the dog every morning. Maybe it's chasing your grandkids around the yard. Maybe it's simply kneeling down in your garden and getting back up without help. Whatever it is, tell me below. I want to know. One quick note before we dive in. I wrote a book called Stand Strong to help older adults rebuild balance, regain strength, and stay steady and independent for as long as humanly possible. It's linked in the description if that's something you need. That's the only time I'll mention it. Now, let's get into today's topic because this matters. New research is converging on something remarkable. Adding one specific food to your morning routine can help adults over 60 preserve real, functional leg strength, sharpen balance and stability, put an end to the nighttime leg cramps that steal your sleep, and cut the risk of progressive muscle deterioration by as much as 72%. Millions of older adults end up depending on a walker, a cane, or a wheelchair, not because of some rare disease, but because of a slow, silent condition that almost nobody warns them about in time. The hardest part of my job is telling someone that this could have been prevented, and then no one ever told them how. And it gets worse because most people are unknowingly speeding up their own muscle loss every single morning by reaching for exactly the wrong foods at exactly the wrong time. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. Is it possible that you are weakening your own legs every morning simply because one essential food is missing from your plate? Stick with me to the end of this video. I'm going to show you precisely what to eat the moment you wake up and walk you through 5 simple, genuinely enjoyable breakfast ideas that can help you stay strong, steady, and fully independent through your 60s, 70s, 80s, and well beyond. The last food on this list tends to surprise people the most. That sense of your legs becoming less trustworthy month after month is not something you are required to accept. Turning 60 or 70 does not mean signing away your ability to walk with confidence, to keep your balance, or to run your own life on your own terms. This can be turned around. And here's the part I really want you to hear. Doing it requires no medication, no expensive machines, and no grueling exercise regimen most people over 60 simply won't stick with. It starts with something almost embarrassingly simple. yet remarkably powerful the very first meal you put into your body each day. I know that sounds too basic to matter, but the truth is that your breakfast either protects your legs or it quietly erodes them, one morning at a time. And this is exactly what's keeping nutritional researchers up at night. Most adults past 60 are getting breakfast completely wrong. They skip it entirely. They replace it with a cup of coffee and nothing else. Or they grab something nutritionally empty, white toast, sugary cereal, a pastry from the gas station. Some tell themselves, I'll eat something later, and coast through the entire morning on nothing but water or black coffee. Here's what that actually does to your body. It pushes you into what's called a catabolic state. Your body starts cannibalizing its own muscle tissue for fuel because it has nothing else to draw from. And which muscles get sacrificed first? Your legs. The very muscles responsible for standing, walking, catching yourself when you stumble, and keeping you off the floor. A study out of Tufts University found that older adults recovered up to 35% of their lost leg strength in just 8 weeks by doing nothing more exotic than eating a proper, nutrient-dense breakfast. These are not rare, expensive ingredients flown in from overseas. They are sitting in your regular grocery store right now, foods you've almost certainly bought before. You simply haven't been combining them the right way or eating them at the time of day when they do the most good. Over the next several minutes, I'm walking you through 5 simple, research-backed breakfast foods proven to preserve leg muscle, restore balance, calm cramping, and rebuild strength before you lose any more of it. And at the very end, I reveal one unexpected food that has helped hundreds of my patients and viewers reclaim real mobility from just a small daily portion. If you've ever been told that lost muscle can't be rebuilt, stay right here. You may see this very differently by the time we're done. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your body. After 60, muscle mass naturally begins to decline, and the legs are almost always hit first and hardest. The medical term for this is sarcopenia, and it is one of the biggest drivers behind difficulty walking longer distances, struggling to rise from a chair, worsening balance, and eventually dependence on a cane, a walker, or full-time caregiving. What makes sarcopenia so dangerous is that it doesn't hurt. There's no fever, no dramatic symptom demanding your attention. It creeps in slowly, over years. One week, your legs feel a little heavier than usual. Another week, you catch yourself stumbling, stepping off a curb you stepped off 1,000 times. You chalk it up to just getting older and start bracing your arms against the couch to stand. But that explanation, while comforting, is wrong. Getting older doesn't weaken your legs on its own. Losing muscle does. And those are 2 very different problems with 2 very different solutions. According to the National Institute on Aging, adults over 60 can lose up to 13% of their leg muscle mass in just 10 years if nothing is done to stop it. This isn't only about strength or appearance. As leg muscle shrinks, balance deteriorates, walking speed drops, and fall risk climbs sharply. Circulation weakens, mobility narrows, fat accumulates around the midsection, bone density drops. Over time, even sleep and mental sharpness can start to slip. The emotional toll of feeling trapped inside a body that no longer listens to you can be genuinely devastating. I've watched that happen to people who were, in every other way, thriving. What's especially frustrating for me as a physician is how often this gets misdiagnosed as something else entirely. A patient comes in convinced they have a hip problem or a circulation problem or early arthritis, and after a full workup, the honest answer is simply this: your muscles have quietly shrunk and nobody caught it in time because there was never a dramatic symptom pointing to it. Sarcopenia doesn't announce itself with a single event. It shows up as 100 small compromises: skipping the walk because your legs feel off, gripping the railing a little tighter, sitting down on the edge of the bathtub instead of standing at the sink. Each one seems minor. Together, they represent a life quietly shrinking around a body that's losing ground. So why does the morning specifically matter so much? Because after 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your body has essentially been fasting all night. With no incoming fuel, it starts pulling energy from muscle tissue itself. For older adults, whose muscle rebuilding capacity is already considerably slower than it was in their 30s or 40s, this is a far more damaging process than most people realize. If you don't interrupt that catabolic window with the right breakfast, your leg muscles start breaking down before your day has even properly begun. And because your legs house the single largest muscle groups in your entire body, losing mass there drags down your whole metabolism, weakens circulation, and triggers a cascade of downstream problems. cramping, tingling, numbness, unsteady footing, and slipping coordination. This is one of the biggest reasons so many older adults with no major diagnosis still find themselves quietly, steadily becoming weaker and more dependent as the years pass. Here's the encouraging part. Your body can still respond. It can still recover if you give it consistency and the right intention behind your choices. Eat the right foods at the right time, and you can genuinely rebuild muscle, sharpen your balance, ease your cramping, and take back your independence. One morning at a time. So keep watching, because what comes next is the part that actually changes things. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Margaret, a 67-year-old retired school teacher who spent 3 decades on her feet in a classroom without a second thought about her legs. But over the past year, simply getting out of bed had become an ordeal. Her knees ached the moment she stood. Her feet went numb overnight, and her first dozen steps each morning felt slow and uncertain, like her body needed to warm up an old, stiff machine before it would cooperate. One morning, reaching down to pick up the newspaper from her porch, her foot caught the edge of the step, and she went down. The fall itself wasn't serious, but the fear that followed it was enormous. In that instant, lying there on the cold concrete, she realized she was losing something far bigger than physical strength. She was losing her sense of who she was. Her daughter had already noticed the changes over the previous months. Margaret's pace had slowed. Her walks had become hesitant and unsteady. She needed both hands braced on the armrest just to stand up from the sofa. She'd quietly stopped taking the morning walks that used to be the best part of her day. And then the nighttime leg cramp started, jolting her awake again and again until she was permanently exhausted. Margaret didn't have diabetes. She didn't have arthritis. There was no clean diagnosis explaining any of it. Her doctor had run blood work, checked her thyroid, even ordered scans of her knees, and everything came back essentially normal. That was, in some ways, the most frustrating part. No clear villain to blame, just a slow, steady erosion with no obvious cause. What she was going through is something many clinicians privately call the after 60 shift, the point where muscle loss quietly accelerates, especially in the legs that carry your entire body weight and keep you upright through every single movement you make. After the fall, Margaret started searching for real answers with real urgency. She spoke with a nutritionist. She read everything she could get her hands on. She stayed up late watching health videos, trying to understand what was happening to her own body. That's when she came across something she had genuinely never considered before. The strength of your legs is shaped, in large part, by what you choose to eat first thing in the morning, so she changed her routine completely. No more skipped breakfasts, no more black coffee as her only fuel until noon. Instead, she started eating foods packed with exactly the nutrients her legs had been starving for, nutrients that restore circulation, rebuild tissue, calm inflammation, and support balance. Within 3 weeks, she noticed the difference. Standing up got easier. Her steps felt more solid under her. The nighttime cramps vanished completely. Within 2 months, she was walking 2 full kilometers every single morning without needing to stop and rest. Today, she tells her daughter, with a genuine smile on her face, that she has her legs back. One simple change to her breakfast, no medication, no formal physical therapy, and Margaret reclaimed her strength, her energy, and her independence. That same possibility is available to you. You don't need extraordinary willpower or rare luck. You need the right food at the right time every morning. So let's walk through the 5 breakfast foods that help Margaret and thousands of other people just like her build stronger, steadier legs. Number 1, whole eggs. There is almost nothing simpler or more effective for rebuilding leg muscle than a properly prepared egg. Eggs contain nearly every essential amino acid your body needs for muscle repair, but the real power is concentrated in the yolk. That yolk is loaded with vitamin D, vitamin B12, choline, and leucine, an amino acid that directly triggers muscle protein synthesis, the exact biological process responsible for preventing and reversing muscle loss after 60. Research out of the University of Illinois found that older adults who ate 2 whole eggs daily for 8 weeks showed measurable improvements in both leg strength and functional independence. Eggs also support your neuromuscular system, sharpening coordination, steadying your balance, and making each step more controlled while cutting your fall risk. The B12 in that yolk protects the myelin sheath around your nerve fibers, speeding up and cleaning up the communication between your brain and your leg muscles. The result is smoother movement, more dependable balance, and more confidence with every single step you take. Eggs also deliver highly absorbable iron, which supports blood flow and oxygen delivery straight to your leg muscles, a nutrient that's frequently quietly deficient in older adults who have no idea it's happening. For best results, eat both the yolk and the white within an hour of waking. Boiled eggs are ideal because they hold onto their full nutritional value without added fats. If you want variety, scrambled eggs with fresh spinach or chopped tomato work beautifully, since both are rich in antioxidants and magnesium, nutrients that add another layer of protection for your lower body muscles. If you're watching cholesterol and have been told to limit yolks, talk with your physician about your specific numbers before cutting them out entirely. For most healthy older adults, 1 to 2 whole eggs a day is well within a safe range, and the muscle-protecting benefits of the yolk are difficult to replace with egg whites alone. Every morning, that single egg is doing far more than filling your stomach. It is standing guard against silent progressive muscle decline. Stick with this habit for 30 straight days, and you will very likely notice fewer cramps, stronger legs, and real ease getting up out of a chair. Number 2. Oatmeal with chia seeds. A warm bowl of oatmeal topped with chia seeds gives your legs the steady, sustained energy they need to function well all morning long. Where eggs supply the protein for building muscle, oatmeal delivers a continuous stream of nutrients that support endurance and muscular function. Paired with chia seeds, this humble, inexpensive breakfast becomes a genuinely powerful tool for anyone trying to preserve leg strength, slow further muscle loss, and support healthy circulation. One of the most important compounds in oats is beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that lowers inflammatory activity in the body, improves nutrient absorption inside muscle tissue, and helps stabilize blood sugar through the morning. Especially important after 60, when your metabolism naturally slows and blood sugar regulation becomes less efficient. Chia seeds add omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, potassium, and magnesium, all essential for healthy muscle contractions, clean nerve signaling, and preventing leg cramps. This combination is particularly valuable for the nighttime muscle spasms that interrupt sleep for so many older adults. Magnesium helps a muscle fully relax after it contracts. Potassium keeps your electrolyte balance in check and supports circulation, so oxygen and nutrients can reach even the smallest, deepest muscles in your legs. Preparation couldn't be simpler. Cook 3 tablespoons of rolled oats in water or unsweetened plant milk until soft, then stir in a tablespoon of chia seeds. A few banana slices or a small handful of blueberries add natural sweetness and extra antioxidant protection. Eat it warm within an hour of waking, and you'll likely notice better balance, fewer cramps, and steadily improving endurance through the day. Nighttime cramping tends to fade noticeably within a few weeks, a sign your muscles are finally getting the nourishment they need to repair overnight. Bananas deserve their own mention here, nature's electrolyte food, and for very good reason. Their potassium content makes them particularly effective at preventing leg cramps, supporting circulation, and helping muscles contract smoothly. Eating a banana shortly after waking is ideal since that's when your body's mineral reserves are typically at their lowest point of the day. A medium banana provides roughly 400 milligrams of potassium, about 10% of your daily need. Potassium keeps the electrical balance across your muscle cell membranes intact, allowing muscles to fire cleanly and consistently. Without enough of it, muscles can misfire or spasm, leading to painful nighttime cramps or restless leg twitching, something extremely common in older adults, particularly those on diuretics or with reduced mineral absorption. Harvard University study found that older adults who ate bananas regularly were 33% less likely to experience leg cramps compared to those with low potassium intake. Bananas also supply vitamin B6, which supports the nerve pathways between your brain and legs, sharpening coordination and balance while you move. One caveat worth knowing: people managing type 2 diabetes, blood sugar concerns, or kidney disease should be thoughtful here, since higher potassium intake can affect glucose regulation and heart rhythm in certain circumstances. For those individuals, a slightly underripe banana is a gentler choice. It contains less sugar and more resistant starch, digesting more slowly with a milder effect on blood glucose. The best timing is right after your main breakfast rather than on a completely empty stomach, paired with oatmeal, chia seeds, or Greek yogurt to improve absorption and keep your energy steady. For most healthy older adults, one small banana each morning offers real protection for leg muscles, better stability, and a meaningful slowdown of age-related muscle decline. Number 3. Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is one of the single most effective breakfast foods for countering the muscle breakdown that happens overnight while you sleep. Compared to regular yogurt, it contains nearly double the protein, thanks to the triple straining process that removes the liquid whey. For adults over 60, the slow-digesting casein protein in Greek yogurt releases amino acids gradually, exactly what your legs need during the morning hours as your body transitions out of its overnight catabolic state. During sleep, your body shifts into a fasting, muscle-breaking-down mode, and the hormonal and metabolic changes that come after 60 make recovery from that state noticeably slower than it once was. Without enough protein early in the morning, your leg muscles, already especially vulnerable due to lower activity levels and weakening circulation, can keep breaking down instead of rebuilding. A 170-gram serving of Greek yogurt delivers roughly 17 grams of high-quality protein, including leucine, the amino acid most directly responsible for kickstarting muscle protein synthesis. It also provides calcium and vitamin D, two nutrients that support both bone health and neuromuscular coordination, contributing to better balance and more efficient, stable walking. The natural probiotics in yogurt support digestive health and help lower systemic inflammation, improving nutrient absorption, which, in turn, benefits circulation in your legs. A study from Maastricht University in the Netherlands found that older adults who consume 20 grams of protein each morning combined with light physical activity saw significant improvements in measured leg strength within just 6 weeks, along with fewer nighttime cramps and noticeably better balance. If you're lactose intolerant or have sensitive digestion, lactose-free Greek yogurt or a version made from goat or sheep milk can be a gentler option. Always avoid added sugar. It fuels inflammation, interferes with muscle recovery, and spikes your blood glucose. Eat it within an hour of waking or shortly after some light morning movement, and top it with a few unsweetened berries, a dusting of cinnamon, or a tablespoon of chia seeds for extra benefit. Because of its protein density, easy digestion, and sheer versatility, Greek yogurt is one of the most dependable morning foods for building leg strength and starting your day feeling stable, energized, and ready to move. Number 4. Salmon and other fatty fish. Working salmon, mackerel, or sardines into your breakfast rotation at least twice a week is one of the most powerful strategies available for supporting leg muscle recovery after 60. These fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, which improve insulin sensitivity in muscle tissue, reduce chronic inflammation, and enhance your body's ability to absorb protein and build new muscle. Together, these effects help preserve existing leg strength and meaningfully slow the natural muscle loss that comes with age. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 65 who ate 2 servings of fatty fish weekly retained 27% more leg muscle mass compared to those who relied only on red meat or skipped fish entirely. They also showed better walking ability, stronger measured balance, and a 36% lower risk of falls linked to leg weakness. The omega-3 content specifically fights the low-grade chronic inflammation that quietly erodes lower body muscle over time, a process that operates almost entirely below conscious awareness. Salmon is also an excellent source of highly digestible complete protein, offering roughly 20 grams per 100 grams of cooked fish, plus vitamins B12 and D, which support the nerve-to-muscle communication your body relies on for coordination and confident movement. A simple preparation: pan-sear fresh salmon in extra virgin olive oil for 3 to 4 minutes per side, and serve it alongside roasted sweet potato, lightly steamed vegetables, or sliced avocado for a nutrient-dense, protein-rich start to your day. If a full breakfast of fish feels unusual to you, start smaller. A few ounces alongside your eggs on 2 mornings a week is enough to begin seeing the benefit, and most people find the taste and texture far more approachable than they expected once they actually try it. If fresh salmon isn't always practical, smoked salmon or a high-quality fish oil supplement are reasonable substitutes, though whole food remains the better choice when it's available. If you have trouble digesting fats, liver concerns, or elevated cholesterol, start with a smaller portion. Favor baked or steamed preparations and talk to your healthcare provider about digestive enzyme support if needed. Fatty fish functions almost like a conditioning treatment for your muscles, keeping them flexible, resilient, and quick to recover from the demands of daily life. Even one serving a week can help build stronger legs, sharpen your balance, and support a noticeably more active, confident lifestyle. Number 5. Sweet potatoes with mineral salt. This last one tends to surprise people the most because it's so plain and so cheap. A gently steamed sweet potato, lightly sprinkled with a natural mineral-rich salt, is one of the most affordable and effective breakfasts available for leg health. Unlike most things marketed as superfoods, this humble kitchen staple can produce real, measurable effects on muscle function and mobility when eaten consistently. Sweet potatoes are packed with complex carbohydrates that replenish the muscle glycogen stores depleted overnight. Their natural starches release energy slowly and steadily without the blood sugar spikes that leave you feeling weak, foggy, or crampy before you've even had a proper meal. A study from the French Institute of Mineral Nutrition found that adults who ate high-fiber breakfasts, including sweet potato paired with mineral-rich salt, consistently for 90 days showed 41% better measured balance and nearly 50% fewer falls over that period. The preparation is almost embarrassingly simple. Sprinkle a small amount of Celtic sea salt over half a warm, steamed sweet potato and eat it about 10 minutes before your main breakfast, alongside a glass of warm water. Done consistently, this small habit can meaningfully reduce numbness, cramping, shakiness, and instability while you're standing or walking, a quiet, unassuming foundation of support that most people never think to try. I've had patients tell me they were skeptical that something this plain could make a noticeable difference, and yet a few weeks in, they're the ones bringing it up to me unprompted, telling me their legs feel steadier getting out of the car or climbing a curb. Sometimes the simplest interventions are the ones we overlook precisely because they seem too ordinary to matter. Eating a nutrient-dense breakfast is essential, but the daily habits surrounding it matter just as much for preserving leg strength and balance. A handful of simple morning practices layered on top of the right foods can make a real and cumulative difference over time. First, drink a glass of warm water with a small pinch of natural mineral salt the moment you wake up. This helps restore electrolytes, support healthy circulation, calm your nervous system, and lower the odds of muscle cramps developing later in the day. Second, take 3 minutes for a simple standing leg lift and balance drill. Lift one foot 2 to 4 inches off the floor, hold for 10 seconds, then switch sides. This engages your calves, thighs, and hips while gradually sharpening your balance and coordination. Third, don't launch yourself out of bed. Take 3 slow, deep breaths first. Sit up gradually and gently rotate your wrists and ankles before you stand. This reactivates circulation and can meaningfully reduce morning dizziness and the fall risk that comes with it. Fourth, spend at least 5 minutes in natural morning sunlight. This supports your body's vitamin D production, strengthens bone structure, and improves calcium absorption, particularly in your ankles, feet, and lower legs. Fifth, don't push your breakfast off for hours after waking. Extended morning fasting accelerates muscle breakdown. Even if a full meal isn't possible right away, a small portion of steamed sweet potato, a boiled egg, or a bowl of oatmeal is enough to shift your body from breaking muscle down to building it back up. None of these 5 habits require special equipment, a gym membership, or significant time commitment. Together they take less than 15 minutes, and that's the entire point. The people who succeed at rebuilding leg strength after 60 are almost never the ones who attempt some dramatic overhaul of their entire lifestyle overnight. They're the ones who choose 2 or 3 small, repeatable actions and stay with them consistently for months, not days. If today feels overwhelming, don't try to do all 5 at once. Pick the warm water with mineral salt and the standing leg lift, master those for a week, and layer in the rest gradually. Small, sustained habits beat ambitious ones that fizzle out by the second week every single time. Combine these habits consistently with the 5 foods we covered today: eggs, oatmeal with chia seeds, Greek yogurt, fatty fish, and sweet potato with mineral salt, and you give yourself a genuine, measurable path towards stronger legs, better circulation, and steadier balance, actively working against the muscle loss that aging would otherwise force on you. Even the smallest actions repeated every morning add up to meaningful, lasting results. Taking ownership of your health each day is what preserves the confidence, freedom, and quality of life that make everything else worth having. Your legs do not have to surrender to time if you give them the right fuel and back it up with simple, repeatable, daily habits. Sharing what you've learned and what you're trying might be exactly what someone else in your life needs to hear to start protecting their own mobility. Stay informed, feed your muscles what they actually need, and stay consistent with these habits and walking with confidence, keeping your balance and living an active life stay completely within reach long after 60. If this video gave you something worth having, I want to ask you for 3 things. First, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it now. I publish videos exactly like this one every single week to help you take real, meaningful control of your health. Second, hit that like button so this information can reach other older adults who might be dealing with exactly this right now and desperately need to hear it. And third, leave a comment answering this. Which of these 5 morning foods are you starting with, and which physical activity are you most determined to protect and keep in your life? I read every comment myself, and what you tell me shapes the videos I make next. The research behind everything discussed today is linked in the description for anyone who wants to dig deeper. Take care of your legs. Take care of your independence. And remember, every good choice you make this morning is an investment in the freedom and confident movement you'll be living out tomorrow and every day after that. This is Dr. William Lee wishing you strength, steadiness, and vibrant health for all the years ahead.